Alright, Misty 1940, Jaden Taylor. I'm here doing my second album review. It's coming a couple days after I just put up my first album review. I recorded a little bit ago, but I just put it up for Mega Super Platter. And I'm going to be doing the new Black Sabbath album. The first album, Black Sabbath with Ozzy Osbourne, has recorded in 35 years here in 2013. Now, I don't have the B-side, I don't have any of the extra tracks. I've heard Methodemic, but besides that, I haven't heard any of the B-side songs. I've read some interviews from Tony Iommi on the whole 16-track album, but I did not pre-order because I'm an idiot, so I didn't get it. But I have 13, 8-track album, 50-plus minute runtime, and right now I just have to say that this album is fantastic, and I'm going to give my rating before and I'm going to give it after. My rating for this album is strictly 9.5 out of 10. Now, there's a little bit of work with production that could have been done to this, and I still do miss Bill Ward's drumming ability a little bit, but even so, I thought that it was a really good album, and I thought that mostly everything about this album was solid. I didn't really have any issues with this album at all, and I just gotta say, like, for everything bad that I could find in this album, I thought drumming was really the most of it, and production, and I thought Brad Wilk even did a good job of using his own drum ability, taking from Rage Against the Machine, which he never really got a chance to record anything good with Rage Against the Machine because that's not really their style of music, and then he put it together with Bill Ward style drumming, which I thought was really cool. Now the first song, End of the Beginning. Now End of the Beginning is my second favorite song off the album. End of the Beginning is one of the two songs with an 8-minute runtime along with God is Dead, but we heard that song about a month ago back in May. And I got, End of the Beginning it's a solid song. It starts out completely Black Sabbath, and then it sounds like the song Black Sabbath right after the heavy intro. I thought the vocals were perfect in it. I love how it changes throughout the song after the chorus. Well, I don't even know if it's really the chorus, but right after it goes back into the heaviness, but it keeps the beginning kind of intro form and style for the lyrics. It goes to a faster part, not pace, and then there's a guitar solo, and then it ends with just kind of a melody, little rhythm guitar playing section. I thought that was a really good song. Next, God is Dead. We heard it about a month ago, mid-May. It was released. It's the other song that's an 8-minute runtime now. This song I actually haven't even listened to since I got the CD because I listened to it so much before the album came out that I kind of ruined it for myself. And now, God is Dead is one of the two songs that I think are the low points for this album. Now, God is Dead is a great song. When I say low point, I mean that's mental, because God is Dead is a great song, along with the song Loner off this album, which is the other down point part of this album. But when you're saying Loner and God is Dead are down points on an album, that album's just great all around with an 8-track album set list. I thought God is Dead was a really good song. I thought it was really well done. Now, when they released this song, I thought the album was going to be disappointing drum-wise, and I thought Brad Wilk wasn't going to do anything too spontaneous, and I was really going to miss Bill Ward's drum fills. But he really made up for the drum track on God is Dead. Tony Iommi, the same thing. The guitar solo wasn't very epic on God is Dead, but I mean, that's why you can't just base an entire album off one song that gets released. It was a really good song. The lyrics were really good. It was a really good message, just as this entire album is, even though in the beginning I'm not really sure what Ozzy's singing about, because he's talking about robot souls and skeletons and whatnot. But End of the Beginning, God is Dead are both really good songs. Next up is Loner. Loner, and my favorite part of the song is obviously the riff. It wasn't that long of a runtime song compared to the rest of the album. I think it was 5 minutes. The riff was really cool in the song, and I haven't really gotten to memorize a lot of the lyrics in it, but it was a solid song. Zeitgeist. Now, Zeitgeist is actually a song that it sounds like, and I'm pretty sure has the same vocal effect as Planet Caravan off the Paranoid album. Now, Planet Caravan wasn't one of my favorite Black Sabbath songs, but I never really had a problem with Planet Caravan. I thought it was a really solid song, and I thought it was cool because it shows that Black Sabbath was one of the most influential and best heavy metal bands ever, and they're considered to be the band that started heavy metal, and they can still write a song like that. And Zeitgeist is just completely, they did it again. Now, it kind of reminds me of Planet Caravan, as if they kind of just redid Planet Caravan with different vocals and a bit of a different tempo. But I mean, the acoustics are really good in it, the guitar is really good in it, the chorus is really good in it. Ozzy's vocals are incredible in it. I mean, like, Ozzy really took the task and went and skyrocketed how much I thought he could have done for a new album 35 years later. But it was a solid song. Age of Reason had I'm pretty sure, over 6 minute runtime, almost 7 minutes if I'm correct. And it started with a drum track and it was really cool. Now, Age of Reason, Live Forever, Damn Soul, Dear Father, the 4 last songs in the album are my favorite part of the album to go through. Now, Age of Reason was a really good song. It was just, there's not much I can really say about it. It's just a solid song. It had a good guitar riff, and actually, the opening guitar riff that they open the song with and they end the song with, I really like the riff in it. I really think it's really heroic, and it really reminded me of a Sabbath riff. Now, this song, the last 4 tracks of the album remind me more of Sabbath back from the 1970s than the first 4 songs on the album, even though End of the Beginning really did remind me of Black Sabbath, and some of God Is Dead did as well. But Age of Reason was overall a really good song. Live Forever. Live Forever was only a 4 minute runtime. I'm pretty sure it was the shortest song on the album, that and Zeitgeist, one or the other. Live Forever was a really good song. It seems like this is one of the songs that weren't as solid as the rest of the album, but the riffing was really good, the bass was really good, vocals were really good again. I mean, every song in this album, I don't think there's any song that had a problem with the vocals at all. Ozzy did really good on all of them. Ozzy's always impressed people with his vocals, and in my honesty, I think this is one of the most anticipated albums of the 21st century, and I honestly do think that Ozzy did maybe one of his best, maybe his best full album vocal effort in the history of Black Sabbath. Next song is Damned Soul, and Damned Soul is actually my favorite new Black Sabbath song. Now, I don't know if I actually do think that it stands up along the lines of War Pigs and Iron Man and Paranoid and all the songs like that, Children of the Grave, Sweet Leaf. I actually do think it stands up with songs like that, and it overpasses songs like After Forever, and songs that were overlooked by Black Sabbath fans a lot because of just how many classics they had. Damned Soul is actually a song where it seems like Black Sabbath is bringing on a Led Zeppelin vibe with the Tony Iommi 2 final solos in the song where he just goes on a big shred fest. And Damaged Soul, this was my favorite lyrical effort. I really like the lyrics in it. I like how strong it is, talking about living and dying, and how religion is killing Ozzy or whatever, and then how it's just damaged his entire soul. And I really like its touch upon it. Now, I don't completely agree with it, but I mean, whatever. That's not really the point of listening to it. I listen to it for the music. Yeah, but the guitar solos were amazing in this song. I thought they were really fun. I thought the guitar riff and some of the singing really had a Pink Floyd void to it, and I really thought it also had a Led Zeppelin feel to it, just the way the vocals were produced in the song and the way the guitar solo at the end was produced in the song. And finally, we end the album with Dear Father. Dear Father is just a great way to end the album. They could have ended this album with End of the Beginning or Dear Father, or really any of these songs could have finished off. Any of these songs besides Loner is like probably could have ended this album, and it would have ended greatly. Now, Dear Father was a 7 minute runtime. It was one of the 2 songs with a 7 minute runtime, that and Damned Soul. And Dear Father was just a great song. I really like how it breaks into the chorus, and it just goes into that soft guitar effect, and that guitar effect really reminds me of old Sabbath, just the way the chords played out by Tony Iommi. Now, Tony Iommi's not the greatest guitarist ever, and he's not the best shredder ever, but when it comes to riffing and when it comes to his feeling in guitar, he's got to be one of the top 3 guitarists up there with Jimmy Page, David Gilmour, Alex Lifeson, guys like that. And I thought that was really well done by Tony Iommi. And Peter Butler in Dear Father and Damned Soul, actually, I think that's where his bass stood out more than any other song. End of the Beginning, it stood out a lot too, but I thought he did really well, and Brad Wilk really filled in his role in Dear Father. He didn't really show off that much, but he did enough to make it show that he had drum talent. Now, the other song here is Methadelic. That's on the B-side of the album. That's on the pre-ordered edition. That's a really good song. It's not as much Sabbath as the 8 songs that they chose to put on the album for anyone to buy, but it's a really good song, and I haven't heard any of the other songs, and maybe I'll do a review on those other songs when I hear them. But for now, I'm just going to focus on this. Like I said, 9.5 out of 10. Rick Rubin has never been my favorite music producer. and I think it shows why he's not, because he worked with Metallica and he worked with ZZ Top, and his producing ability seems a little flawed to me, a little weak. But at the same time, I think it worked a lot more with Black Sabbath than it did with Metallica, because he produced a lot better than Metallica can anymore. Now, this album really proved to me that Black Sabbath is still Black Sabbath, and there's not a lot of bands that can come out and perform an album that people can say that's as good as their old material back when they were in their glory ages. Like, Megadeth can't do that, Metallica can't do that. It doesn't seem like Rush can do that, even though Clockwork Angels is really good. Alice in Chains, besides missing Wayne Staley's vocal effort, The Devil Put Dinosaurs here was actually pretty up to date with dirt on the scale and whatnot. I'm sure if Led Zeppelin came up with something, it'd be pretty good, but they're kind of everywhere. Black Sabbath is kind of a band that they can kind of, they have the creative process and just kind of do whatever and go wherever with their music. So I thought that they really proved up to the task, and they went far past expectations and showed that Black Sabbath is still Black Sabbath. Now, I saw a couple interviews. One of them amazed me, that Geezer Butler had never played bass before joining Sabbath, and that's incredible, because Geezer Butler is honestly one of my top 5 picks for best bassists in the world, along with guys like Geddy Lee and Flea. And the other thing I read was Tony Iommi said that they would maybe be doing another album to follow up this album, and I honestly think if they do another album after this, that album would be the retiring album of Black Sabbath, as they're all in their 60s. But I think that album would even be just great. But even still, Black Sabbath remains at the top of metal as the founding metal band, in my opinion. This album, in my opinion, is the best metal album of the 21st century. It stands up there against Metallica, it stands up there against Megadeth, Anthrax, Slayer, all the big four. It stands up there against Thin Lizzy, all those bands like that. All the metal and classic rock bands that have come out and made albums still, and they're still making albums. I think this album still stands above them all. The reuniting of Black Sabbath with Ozzy Osbourne, but with Brad Wilk of Rage Against the Machine on drumming and percussions. I think the lyrics were 10 out of 10. I thought the vocals were 10 out of 10. Guitar was 10 out of 10. Bass was 10 out of 10. Drumming, 8 out of 10. And production 7.5 out of 10, but overall 9.5 out of 10 is my rating on this album.